Here is a conversation I have had in 3 different boardrooms in the last 18 months. The CFO presents to the board 18 months of implementation, new ERP, new processes, new reporting layer. The board asks one question: what did we actually fix? The CFO cannot answer cleanly. Not because they did not work hard. Not because the system was the wrong choice. Because the transformation was built to go live, not to deliver a result. That gap between go live and result is where most finance transformations fail. The vendor has packed up. The project team has dispersed. The invoice has been paid. And the business is running on a new system that is doing the same things the old one did, just with a different interface. This is not a technology problem. It is a model problem. Most organizations treat a technology project the same way they treat a capital purchase. You buy it. You install it. You move on. The return is assumed to follow. It does not work that way in practice. In every engagement I have run over 12 years, the businesses that compound their returns from technology are the ones that treat it as a 2-phase process, not a single project with a go-live date. 2 distinct phases with 2 different goals. Phase 1 is the first 100 days. This is the implementation, the configuration, the go-live. This is where the system gets built, and it matters, but it is not where the return comes from. Phase 2 is the beyond. This is the 12 to 24 months after go-live, where the real compounding happens, where the month-end close drops from 10 days to 3, where the cash forecast goes from a spreadsheet to a live model, where the working capital cycle tightens and the board finally has a number they can act on. Phase 1 makes Phase 2 possible, but most organizations invest everything in Phase 1 and walk away at go-live. The reason Phase 2 fails is almost always the same. The wrong constraint was solved in Phase 1. I have walked into businesses after a 12-month SAP implementation and found the month-end close still taking 11 days. The system could have closed in 3, but no one identified close duration as a constraint before the project started. So the project was designed around data migration and interface configuration, not around the business outcome that actually mattered. This is why we run a constraint audit before any implementation begins. 5 days. Fixed fee. No discovery ambiguity. The constraint audit asks 5 questions. Where is cash being held that should not be held? Where is the close delayed by a step that could be automated? Where is the decision cycle slowed by a reporting gap? Where is the team doing manual work that a connected system would eliminate? And what is the one constraint that, if removed, would change the entire financial trajectory of the business in the next 12 months? Those 5 answers define the implementation brief. Not a wish list. A brief tied to a measurable outcome. A group CFO I worked with came in with a 13-day management accounts close. 1 month after go live, the close was at 9 days. 4 months after go live, it was at 5 days. Working capital released across the group. £4 million. The board question had a clean answer. That result did not come from the software alone. It came from knowing which constraint to solve before a single line of configuration was written. The beyond is not a vague promise. It is the compounding return on a correctly scoped Phase 1. If you are a CFO or FD heading into a technology project in the next 12 months, the question to ask before you engage any vendor is this: what is the one constraint in our financial operation that this project will definitively remove? If you cannot answer that, the project will go live and deliver nothing you can present to the board. The constraint audit is the answer to that question. 5 days. Fixed fee. You come out of it with a brief, a target metric, and a build specification that any vendor can price. If you want to find out whether your business qualifies, the AI Readiness Assessment at Finance Flow II takes 6 minutes and tells you exactly where your constraint is. There is a link below. The first 100 days fix the system. The beyond is where the return compounds. That is the model.